What's up, guys? How's it going? Moses here, and today I'd like to talk with you about a new build I've been running the past couple of days, the Saboteur Glacial Cascade Mines. It is an extremely high burst, extremely squishy build um, that we're using to destroy our enemies. It has pretty great clearing speed overall, and it is insanely good against bosses. Endgame bosses like Atsiri, Uber Atsiri, Shaper, Guardians, all that stuff. The build is not cheap. There's a couple of expensive pieces here. I don't know about budget, you know, versions of the build. You got to figure it out for yourself. I'm here to show off what I managed to do. I'm following a build by Wins. He's a streamer also on Twitch, and I'm going to leave a link for both his stream and his guide on the forums. So yeah, let's get started. The Glacial Cascade here is linked with Remote Mine and Minefield, and both mine and trap damage, increase area effect or concentrated effect, and increase critical strike support. Glacial Cascade skill originally deals physical damage, and then 60% of that damage is converted to cold damage. What that means is that physical damage nodes on the tree will in fact increase the damage of Glacial Cascade. And also what it means is that since it has a conversion, elemental, cold damage, area damage, because it is an area skill, spell damage, crit multi for spells, all that stuff is all going to scale our damage up. When it comes to the enchantment on the helm, ideally it's a pretty expensive enchant. I think I paid for this helm about 350 chaos, which is not cheap, but ideally you want to convert all the damage, 100% conversion of Glacial Cascade physical into cold, which will scale it a whole lot better and will give us a significant boost in our damage. Yeah, so this is the 6th link that we mentioned: Glacial Cascade Incrit and Minefield Remote Mine, Trap and Mine damage, Ink AoE, or Concentrated effect for bosses for an insane more damage multiplier here. We are using a dagger and a shield. On the dagger we're using the highest base of crit, because yeah, we want our spell to have as high as possible crit. So right now unbuffed we got 51% chance to crit. This node allows us to gain power charges, 15% chance to gain power charges. So we're going to have 3 power charges, which will significantly increase our critical strike chance overall. So we want to also have a lot of crit multi. So we're going to extract that from the tree, and hopefully from our gear as well. We got a little bit of crit multi on the dagger. Spell damage, lightning damage to spells here, and increased crit strike chance for spells. On the amulet we have increased cold damage, global crit multi, a lot of life, a little bit of mana, because we are in fact using mind over matter right here. Mind over matter, and of course the big mana nodes that follows, as well as Clear Mind Cobalt Jewel. We are reserving no mana, and we're using Essence Swarm with Hatred, since Hatred will in fact scale our cold damage of our Glacial Cascade. We'll gain an extra physical damage as cold damage. So we are using Hatred with Essence Swarm for the +2 and for the no mana reserved, so we can get the benefit of the Clear Mind Cobalt Jewel. Again, the build is pretty straightforward. We got our damage set up, and then we have Spell Totem linked with Detonate Mines. The Detonate Mines basically allows us to put a totem on the ground and then chain cast our mines, and whenever monsters are nearby, this will detonate the mines like all over the place constantly. The cast speed is pretty good, and this thing will just destroy everything. As well, it's linked with increased duration, yeah, because we usually put it behind us and then you know, attack monsters in front of us so it won't take damage and like everything will get destroyed. We want this as high uptime as possible. Especially it's comfortable in beachhead fights. So yeah, over here we got a faster attack, fortify shield charge. We are using a shield with spell damage, increased crit for spells, with some cold resist and life and mana regen. I exalted this thing twice. I got socketed lightning gems and increased fire damage, unfortunately, but it is still a very, very, very good shield. So yeah, just the spell damage, crit for spells, and resist and life are high enough to make it a pretty expensive shield just on its own. Getting fire damage makes it insane for some fire builds, but yeah, I was hoping I would get something else like cold damage, for instance. So yeah, over here we got our boots. We're using comms roots to be able to run all sorts of temporal chains. Cannot be slowed. Pretty nice. Lots of life. On the belt, you can use Belt of the Deceiver. I chose to go with a lot of life on the leather belt with extra strength and the resistances we need. A little bit of armor here as well. On the gloves, again, we got the life, the resist that we need. Yeah, on the ring, life resist, some strength, dexterity for requirements. On the amulet, I already showed. The helm, I already showed. Pretty sweet. When it comes to the flask setup, we are using Taste of Hate, even though it's not a physical attack, it is in fact physical damage. So whenever we're looking at the tooltip and we're popping our flasks, those will in fact affect our DPS. As you see, it goes up to 46k with increased AoE. It's going to go a bit higher, just a little bit higher with concentrated effect. Not by much, but yeah, just about 30k higher. So pretty good stuff right there. On the off weapons, I'm keeping this because it's kind of comfortable and I don't want to put it in my inventory, but other than that, I am leveling a bunch of Glacial Cascades in hoping of maybe getting 21 and selling it on POE.trade. So it's a little something I always recommend doing. If it's like mid-league, you buy low-level gems with like 17, 18, 19 quality, throw a couple of GCPs on them, and then when they reach level 20, you make sure they have the maximum quality, and then you vol them in hopes of the 21. If it's early league, what you do is you just pick up level 1 of your main spell, because if you are a spellcaster, it is extremely important to get your level 21. 21 makes a significant increase. I cannot stress this enough. Significant increase in your damage overall, so you really want that level 21, and you might not get it the first time. So what you're going to be doing, you're going to be leveling up multiple level 1 gems, and when they reach level 20, you vendor them, right? You sell them to the vendor with 1 gem cutter prism, and this will make it a level 20 with 1 gem cutter prism, will make it a level 1 with 20 quality, and then you're going to put it in your off sockets and you're going to be leveling them up again until level 20, only now they're going to have 20 quality, and then you can vol them, sell the ones that you don't need, use the one that you do need, and pretty much GG. So that's what you should be doing with any kind of caster spell or spell, just to make sure that you're getting that level 21 that you really need. Yeah, so we are using again Taste of Hate, Serious Promise, and then Wise Oak for the cold penetration. You want to also make sure that cold is in fact the highest resist because of the effect of the Wise Oak, making our elemental damage penetrate 15% of our highest uncapped elemental resistance. Our uncapped elemental resistance highest one is 137 cold, so our cold damage is in fact going to be penetrating 15% resistances. Seems good. Over here we got a catalyzed eternal mana flask of dowsing to remove burning. You can alternatively use curing to remove poison, but I strongly recommend the catalyzed one. And then a seething of staunching. We don't need any kind of, you know, curse removal, because temporal chains doesn't really do anything to us, and we can take a curse for a couple of seconds, and really we want to boost our damage, and there's not any necessary like immediate need for any kind of utility removal, except, well, maybe dowsing for Atsiri, because she hits hard and she burns you, you know, so you want to get that going, and sometimes poison removal for some other boss fights. We got our stone golem. You can alternatively use any other golem you see fit. Increase duration, spell totem, and detonate mines here. And Val Clarity and increased duration is the real MVP here, since Val Clarity is in fact allowing us to run mana free spells for, well, about 17 or 18 seconds. So we won't be using our spells, or sorry, we won't be using our mana for our spells, and we're going to be able to take damage off of our mind over matter without worrying, you know, too much from that free cost. And yeah, it costs 135, so it's definitely noticeable. You know, it's about I don't know, a little less than 10% of your overall mana, so, you know, it's definitely noticeable, and you cast it pretty quickly. Imagine having Val Clarity, just makes it completely free, and we have our full mana bar to absorb damage with Mind Over Matter. That's pretty much it. One thing I did want to mention, how you see me how I'm, you know, standing in place and just basically casting my mines. What allows me to do that is the numlock trick. I'm going to go through this right now. Now, by default, if you check your input, you see that attack in place will be on shift button. Okay, so if you want to basically cast your mines, see what happens if I'm not doing anything with my left hand. What will happen is you will lay the mines, but your character will move if you right click. Now this is bad for two reasons. You see there's a kind of a long duration between each mine. You kind of like walk a lot, and you really want to be able to spam those mines, right? And I mean, you can do that if you keep your cursor if you keep your cursor right on the feet of your character, you can do that, but that's extremely uncomfortable because you do want to move, you do want to shield charge, you know, you do want to have your cursor available to put it wherever you want for your mobility throughout the fights. So here comes the numlock and helps us doing that without holding shift and casting right click. You know, see, like right now I'm holding shift, and that's what happens. It allows me to basically cast my mines without moving. Alright, so basically what you do is instead of attack in place, use shift. Instead of using shift, you basically use any of the numbers on your numpad, right? So you just need to, whatever, let's put it at 5 like I had it before, and then you save it, and now what's going to happen is you want to activate it. Okay, so you press 5 on the numpad, and then you press numlock. You leave them both. You press first 5, you leave it held, and then you press numlock. And then what's going to happen is your character is going to do that constantly, because it kind of like locks the numlock, so it kind of like always have your attack in place, right? And since the only thing that we're attacking with is basically, you know, mines, and it's always pressed, it's like we have our shift button or our 5 button attack in place always pressed the entire time. It's kind of a known trick, but still a lot of people don't know it, and even veterans in Path of Exile might not be aware of that, and it can really like break your hand trying to hold shift and manage potions, and really can hurt your hand. So this will free your hands. Very, very, very nice trick that you should be using if you are not aware of that already. Another thing I want to mention, Bandits. Bandits, we help Alira because she gives us 15 to all resist, 20 global crit multiplier, and 5 mana regeneration per second, which is better than 2 skill points and is perfect for our build. So there you go. We use Alira, we help her, we kill the others. Anything that I didn't mention over the items? I don't think so. When it comes to the tree, there's a couple of jewel sockets. On jewels, you're going to be looking for increased area damage, crit multi with cold skills, increased cold damage, increased spell damage, all these kind of stuff, as well as, of course, life and the resistances that you need. Clear mind, jewel, because the mana reserved and or no mana reserved and all that. Yeah, so that's what we have here. Increase area damage, cold skills, resists, max life. Pretty sweet jewels here. We got here max mana, no damage on this jewel, but like, yeah, max mana, max life. Bunch of jewel sockets that we can use for the build as well. Yeah, so physical damage will scale our Glacial Cascade damage. We're going to grab a bunch of life nodes, some more life nodes, some crit, some more crit over here. We get into power charges that increases our chance to crit as well. A bunch of area damage from the Witch, the blast radius, a bunch of area damage from the Templar. Amplify, crit. Yeah, even more crit multi. The mine circle here on my way to get high explosives. And yeah, of course, we pick up the Saboteur naturally. When it comes to the order of your ascendancy at normal, you're going to be picking up Bomb Specialist. On the second cruel, you're going to be picking up Demolition Specialist, and then you're going to go to Explosive Expert. Once you pick up Demolition Specialist, the 100% increased mine arming speed and the laying speed, it just makes everything flow so much better, and you get this around level 50-ish, I think. So when you're leveling up, it's very nice. And then we pick up the baby nodes because we have nothing to do with blinding, assault, and yeah, this is for the Uber lab. When it comes to the leveling, you're picking up your tabula, and you're going to be running lightning traps and fire traps until at level 30-ish or 20-ish. You're going to get your Glacial Cascade, and then you're going to start basically destroy. As soon as you can get this gem, I don't exactly remember at what level, you should be starting to use it, and use all these support gems to amplify its damage, and you're going to be leveling up throughout your leveling. So when you reach endgame, they're going to be around level 17. You're going to start doing a 17 or 18 maybe, and then you're going to be running some maps, and you're going to level these up. Make sure that you don't have any resistances on your amulet, and really try to get your resistances. It might get a little bit expensive, but like, this build is definitely not cheap, right? So if you're going to be running it, if you want to min-max it, you want to you're gonna throw a couple of exalts on this build, I guess. Let's identify. It's garbage. So you gotta make sure you at least try to not have any resistances on your amulet, because you do want to use Biscos for clearing trash. Biscos is extremely good for clearing trash. Let's kill some monsters. I started killing some monsters, and then I decided to go and maybe make this video guide. So here we are. As you see, the build is like basically one-shotting. This is T15. We're going to use Val, Lightning Trap, and yeah, we can always detonate the mines manually if we see that we somehow like okay, we got a volatile here. If we see that if we see that the totem is a bit far away and it doesn't reach the range of the monsters, we can always detonate the mines manually by pressing the button D. We do have the D button whenever there's mines available, and yeah, this build is very good against like these Harbinger guys, and you can always detonate the mines and move away like manually. As you can see, the Val Clarity is still on. Like there hasn't been any monsters in like forever. Yeah, the build is super squishy, so you really can't let anything come near you. Because you see, I just took a bunch of damage there. There's another Harbinger here. You want to place the totem behind you, and if it gets burned, you want to basically see it's a little bit behind you, and you're clearing everything with ease. Yeah, you gotta check out your totem and your golem guy. Your golem can actually draw a little bit of aggro from the monsters, so it's quite nice to have him take some damage instead of you. Pop your flasks, they're pretty much up all the time. And the screen gets one-shotted. It's really a beautiful build, man. It's really a beautiful build. It's super squishy. Like, you'll die a lot. It takes time, even for me. I mean, I was actually contemplating even if I should make this build because I really haven't mastered it yet. I die quite a lot, especially to Guardians and you know, Shaper and like endgame bosses. I died. I ripped, unfortunately, 2 Uber Theory key sets. It was very painful. Also, don't try and do Chayula with it because, like, everything gets one-shotted, but like you still, like, it's crazy. But like you still run out of time there for some reason, even though everything like literally gets one-shotted. You still lose time. I don't know. I did Chayula with my SRS Witch, and it wasn't a big problem. Because the SRS just kind of like, they fly everywhere, they kill things off the screen with the minion speed and all that. But with this guy, I don't know, shield charge is very slow, and the layout of the map is terrible, right? And you get stuck in all sorts of annoying things, so, like, I mean, it doesn't matter if you, you know, even if you kill things super quickly, you still gotta move in the map, and, well, what can I tell you, friends? It's actually, it makes it like super slow, so you're going to be losing time, and I learned it the hard way when I basically ripped a Chayula Keystone or a Breachstone, and yeah, so kind of a big fail there. I was like, holy shit, you know, rip my time. Okay, see, it gets a little bit close here and there. You know, I could easily die there. One more shot from a monster, I could easily die there. So you kind of like have to be careful. Like, it's not like any melee builds where you use Valpact, you got instant leech and you're just basically owning all the monsters. This, you gotta pay attention to where you're walking and, you know, where things are located, because you will get wrecked, in fact. I think I missed the boss, so let's go back to the boss room. It's like those things happen, you kind of like get stuck in the wall. See, I like, what? Shield charge, I mean, please. They really gotta smoothen the, you know, I don't even know how to call it, but they really gotta make sure that whenever you're running into all sorts of, you know, walls or around like edges or like stones or rocks, that you can still be able to shield charge, because it just feels so bad. You know, really feels bad, man. Really never liked that skill, even when I played back in the day, about 4 or 5 months ago. You know, the Righteous Fire, I first started using shield charge and fortify, and it felt really nice, but then in certain map layouts it just feels terrible. So, yeah, man, I mean, the damage is, it's crazy. The damage is in fact pretty sick. Alright, let's drop some Exalted Charge, shall we? Let's go and kill the boss. We're gonna swap to Concentrate effect, and we're also going to swap to our damage amulet. So this is going to be our tooltip, unbuffed, without the power chargers, without everything. Let's drop a portal just in case outside here, because, you know, I might die. Let's hope I won't, but I might, so... Okay, so you pop Val Clarity and you start running. I mean, Val Clarity bonuses run for quite some time. The only thing you gotta pay attention to is really the totem's life. So every couple of cycles you just make a new totem basically, and you make sure that you have your Val Clarity and Flasks up all the time. You can throw a couple of lightning traps, but I mean, sure. When you see a circle spawning under you, just move a little bit. And you gotta make sure that you're behind, that you're in front of the totem so it won't take damage. Sometimes these things throw some firewalls, like blue firewalls, or throw some projectiles, so you gotta reposition. See, like right now. Basically that's it. I mean, other than that, make sure you have your flasks up all the time, dodge the volatiles, they can be painful. At this point they don't one-shot me, but they pretty much bring me close to death, so still try and dodge the volatiles. Damage is crazy! That's like, yeah, so make sure you have the totem up and that your golem draws the aggro, make sure he's healthy. Cast it if he's taking a little bit of damage. There's a volatile. Totem is going down in life. You gotta make sure that he's not dead. If he's dead, I mean, you can get overwhelmed and surrounded by monsters. And yeah, if you don't chill charge quick enough, you can basically die, but just gotta pay attention that's not happening. I think it's the big Papa boss now spawning. Seems good. Golem is dead, gotta resurrect him. Make sure the totem is always healthy. And nothing should kill you in this place. If you just make sure that you got your golem, you got your totem alive. And yeah, you got your Val Clarity. Oh god. Took some unnecessary damage there. There we go. No exalted shards. Okay, so that was it. Pretty long video, but yeah, I mean, that's how it is. We got an Imperial staff, GG, 1 alchemy. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and go check out Wins, because if it wasn't for him, honestly, I wouldn't be familiar with this build. I wouldn't know anything about this build. So check out Wins. I'm going to leave you the link in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you got any questions, as always, feel free to use the comments and I will try to get to all of them. Thanks for watching.